Yeah, man. Let's claim your inheritance. All right, so I'm in the back chat, chit chat, flap, lip boxing, right? And you got George Zimmerman on YouTube, right? He got you know what he got? He got a Clark Kent identity. Covers up his voice and it covers up his identity as George Zimmerman all day long. Okay, so I discerned it when they're praising him and worshiping this man, you know, for 3 days straight. I finally figured out that he was George Zimmerman. So now you got a YouTube channel called Saint Travon of Skittles, and that's all he does all day long is disgrace, the black image, the image of black people. No problem. That's his mission in life. More power to him. Go ahead, handle your business. But he challenged me to a damn intellectual duel and then backed out the challenge. That's coward. That's cowardice. That's real coward shit. Okay. Now, Liam, I don't know who he is. Liam Rinaldi, Rinaldi. Liam, some British clown. Uh, Wanted to get in on the challenge, and he said to wait till Tuesday or Wednesday when he can practice the IQ test over and over again. So I'll be waiting patiently. Got another guy named Richard. He's a real smart guy now. Okay, he hates black people too a little bit. So he don't mind taking intelligence challenges all the times. You know what I'm saying? So he accepted the challenge instantly, and he just woke up. It's 4 o'clock a.m. in Thailand. He just woke up and he's ready to think. So we're just waiting on Richard to get in here. He probably gonna chicken out. He ain't gonna show up. I already know he ain't gonna show up. He's gonna chicken out. They talked all that Cash Money Records where dreams come true. You know, and I guarantee you, he's gonna chicken out. They talk. Okay, so now that's all we're waiting on. Okay, so now if they don't show up, then that's too bad for them. It's live without challenging somebody head to head with the live test. You want to talk all this junk about how intelligent you are, and that black people have a collective average IQ of 80 or 75. Why don't you prove it? Why don't you come live on air and join the hangout and then do a test live on air at the same time with an IQ test? Oh, that selection was brought to you by the Soggy Bottom Boys. Okay. All righty. So now the Soggy Bottom Boys was singing, I am a man of constant sorrow. That's something old timey. We sitting here waiting patiently on the contestants. All righty. You know that, don't you? We're waiting on Richard, right? He hates black people a little bit. And so he wants to have a contest of the wits to see who's smarter, a black man or a white man. Hmm? And we gonna see. We gonna see real soon. I think Richard got me beat because he's pretty smart, but he can't beat me in chess. I know that much. But these IQ tests. We're gonna take this IQ test. These IQ tests are culturally biased, so we're gonna see what's up with that in just a minute here. But I guarantee you, he ain't gonna show up. So I'm gonna just keep looking for some
some requests, some old timey requests. You understand that? Let me plug my headphones in here.
Okay. Now we're gonna take some old timey requests today and show these people you ain't dealing with no old timey nigger. You understand? Niggers back in the day weren't allowed to read. They would be arrested if they were caught reading. This ain't back in the day. Okay. And I'm gonna prove it. As soon as these cowards show up, they won't. I already know. I am man of Constance. Oh, that's some funny stuff. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. I'm sorry. That's some funny stuff. Okay, let's go. All righty. Taking requests from the audience. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm watching the live stream, right? So anybody that wants some old timey during the era when black man, a nigger, was not allowed to read and they would be arrested if they were found reading or hung or something, or their ears would have been cut off back in the day. This would have been caught in a bowl for people to throw baseballs at their heads back in them days. I'll play a song from back then, you know, when the babies is gator bait and stuff like that. You just let us know, and I will play that song for ye. Okay. Mm-hmm. I shows wheels. I shows wheels. Mm-hmm. Liam has to practice till Tuesday just to take an IQ test. What a funny guy he is. We'll see. Born and raised. Mm-hmm. We gonna wait. We gonna wait. I'm looking at the live stream, so any requests, you let me know. All right. Till then, we're gonna play a little bit of Kesha. Oh, you don't know who Kesha is? No problem. I'm getting ready to show you right now. Right now. Over me. Mm-hmm. Just bear with me. Wait on my computer to compute. Yep. So simple. Mm-hmm. We're gonna play a little bit of Kesha for you, so you can cash up on in the world. Since mine is pathetic. Kesha. Okay, y'all watch a little bit of Kesha Foundation, so you can catch up with what's going on around here. Streamed 2 days ago. Let's check this out.
Casherness, that you're there.
Yep. Yeah, I hear it. As I said, the national organization, and we have done as an organization like us will do, we do for exchange for peace, supporting governments in ranges, and they have to come and see. And the world leaders, ministers, and others which we invite is here to see what is to be delivered. And it's fantastic what's happening here. I thank the whole of the Keshe Foundation management team, the Keshe Foundation manufacturing team there, especially the Shenzhen group, who are working very hard to get everything in time done for the opening. Have you got the pictures? Are you still searching?
These are the pictures of the picture.
7, 8, and you were sent 2 sets of them. You can release more.
Right. Okay, let me make sure you're not.
As you know, Benjamin is the head of Benjamin. He's getting his suitcase ready to travel around. And thank you for everything you know. And the same with Alex in the and the rest of the people. We will be covering more or less African nations with the technology. Are you there?
Yes, I'm just open now, and I think we'll start off with that one.
You received 2 sets of them in the set. You can show any of them for all of them.
I think this was one of the pictures.
Okay. Just before they get started real good, I just want to update you on something here. Y'all already knows the Puerto Rico's lights since the hurricane. So uh, I'm going to show you something here. Identifying like superheroes, Akon. Come in. He doesn't identify as an Israelite, but he should. And so, watch this, what he says. Okay, so he said that he sent in a proposal to the government to turn the lights on in Puerto Rico, right? And he could have the lights back on in less than 30 days, and they were rejected. Huh? See how that works? Rejected. Purely rejected. How did that happen? They don't care about the people. It's politics, propaganda, and special interests. You see, we have this solution. Not a solution, the solution. THE, buddy. We got the solution. You understand? So we know how this thing works. BBOC is the solution. Buying back our communities. That is the solution. Club of New Jerusalem is the solution. See? Where we have a leader over the communities that we're placing on this land. That's how it works. The man took time out of his busy schedule to answer that very important question about Puerto Rico not having any lights, and they could easily be cut back on and fixed. You see? All it takes is money and a plan and a heart. You have to have compassion on people. So since you don't care anything about Puerto Ricans, you don't care that the lights off. Yeah, you gonna pay for it. We ain't worried about it. You gonna pay for everything that you do. We're not worried about you guys in the least. All right, so let's get back to cash, so you can catch up with what's going. That was just a commercial break.
just a different decide which ones someone might have been different, let's say. There's this one which is again the trend. So I almost got you a smile there too, Mr. Cash. That's a lovely shot.
How much straight face those two.
See the straight face. No, lovely pictures. Couldn't quite figure out and not sure what it's all about putting it in here because I need to explain what the heck was. Just kidding. Leaning over and barely contain yourselves because I think you're having fun with this one. Butterflies moving. Hear me? Yes, I know. I'm screaming again. I cannot see it. Oh, I fell out. It's the same thing, it just does not allow pictures to come in. I should have done if I had them all set up in a folder and in one application rather than resharing, it might have been better. No, just reshare. Come back to it, Mr. Fisher. Okay, let me just try that. Yeah, don't pause the share. Yes, that's back. Thanks, guys. Yes. Yeah, so I was just sort of getting that I couldn't quite understand this picture, so I might explain a little bit about that. But this is the way that I wanted it. It was, as you can see, we have a lot of fun doing this. And he wanted the picture this way, so okay, it was a bit too sensitive. But it's okay, it's no problem. It's fun to me with Benjamin and Mrs. Blackford. Do you have any more or shall I go to the teacher? I think that's those pictures. I'll just go back to that one that was ended with this one, which was just so nice. I'll kick you out when I share here, but there's a lot of things happening. For the changes which are about to come. Okay, can we go to the normal background? Sure, thank you. Thank you very much. These portraits will be released on the website for different meetings and official meetings. So when we have started teaching with this song, and a lot of people have started searching and they started seeing that one the structure and understanding more towards this
structure.
Okay, so he said a lot of research on the soul, right? And it says that that are observing more things about that and saying that everything that you need is within you. Okay, that sounds like the Bible. It says the kingdom of God is within you. Don't forget, learning is boring.
In the past.
There is a new
It said it needs to redefine a lot of things understood about physics. Said that they are wrong. Okay, you see, he used the example of the fish, how one fish in the front of the herd or in front of the school uh, experiences a fear and it's instantly transmitted to the rest of the fish in the school. So that's what you see around uh, everywhere because all life has emotions. And so you have to calibrate your emotions properly to the Holy Spirit. You see? So when you calibrate your emotions to the Holy Spirit, there are things that used to frighten you, like insects or snakes or any type of frivolous fear, and those things will no longer frighten you you'll be afraid of things that the only thing that you will fear once you master this is God's ability to uh, destroy your spirit, your soul. Okay, so uh, even if you fear something legitimately frightening, like someone attempting to take your life, that is a legitimate reason to be afraid. Uh, if you know that you have not uh, broken one of God's laws, punishable by death, then you know that a person attempting to take your life cannot take your life, even if he squeezes the trigger and pulls the trigger. The gun will not work. This is what type of word. Uh, this is why people think. This is why scientists think we're in a computer program, because things like that happen so often, and they observe them. So they try to rationalize it naturally. So they don't understand that there's a supernatural being that is controlling all of this. You see, they think that we're in a computer program because when someone tries to kill an innocent person, they cannot do it. So they see this happen all the time, all the way, all around the world, everywhere, and they can't rationalize it. It doesn't make any sense to them. The reason that an innocent person cannot die is because the Most High doesn't see fit to kill that person. The only thing in existence that kills is the Most High, and the only thing that brings things to life is the Most High. Yeah, I heard over here to them.
These are the different steps that we have to out of the universal community. When we live, we become part.
Okay. Right.
Oh, why they let me? Is this your stream, Claim?
Then the knowledge is the same. Then by opening up the universal community, it becomes so expanded so rapidly that it'll become unthinkable for man of today. Past few days, I had the pleasure to be one of the workers at the Ghana factory when I was there, and young boy, master's in nuclear, and he came to me. I was standing watching a heavy rain falling, and he came to me and said, "Mr. Cash, I have a problem. I listen to your teachings. I listen to a lot of. I start listening and reading. What's this universal community you're talking about? What's the Earth Council? What's the Universal Council? Can you explain more to us, because we don't see it here?" I explained to him, and then he said, "You know, when you came here 1.5 years ago, the things you told us in the first class, first teaching, and we thought, okay. And now after 1.5 years standing here in this factory, yet you could see it, we could understand. You were telling us something that whatever you told us has taken shape and it's coming true." And he says, "I want to be part of it, more than this." And this is what the knowledge we spend has told of the man, not by the ear of the man. We can take the knowledge. We have to understand how we've been building missions to communicate in no time short engagement between a satellite and a or whatever we send things to, but we've forgotten that we have one of the most fastest line of communication. According to the distance strength of the soul of the man, 0 to 10 time. We have to understand that. This is what the structure is. But one of the understand these things is because the fundamental teaching has been the wrong way. I said, I wish the bookkeeper would have stayed the bookkeeper. I know physics and the rest is he never understood, only saw figures. He never got the essence. Where people like just they could not fix it. Tesla is a scientist, is a true man of science, messenger. But that they are nothing but never understood and created more. And because they came from where they came, they have to get they put more false information, right? these things have to be put correct. But scientists who understand now the new dimension, the new understand. One of these, I was.
What you just heard was that. What you just heard, what he said was that Einstein is a troublemaker because he didn't comprehend the essence of science. So he just put the letter of science into the society, and all he could see was figures. And Tesla is a true science because he comprehended the essence of uh, the science. Okay, so he understands that there's a spirit and other things like that that exist, and this is why it was suppressed from the greater society. So uh, he said that we as a collective need to correct the lies that have been put out by Einstein. So all the puppets of Einstein are in entirety confused. So whenever they quote Einstein, you can guarantee that they're quoting a lie.
I shall not buy. What does it mean in the plasma dimension? Means you cannot give while you're taking. There is a difference between stealing and lying. Stealing, you take and go. Lying, you tend to give what you're actually taking. And the soul sees, you see the soul, the interaction is like what we do in the car driving up every day. We have a white light in the front that shows direction of motion coming to us. We use a red light in the back as known as a red shift as the car is moving away. We can see if the soul is receiving or taking. So again, the white line runs a red zone. Because when it give, it's actually taking from us, we feel it. Why am I getting weak in that direction? When it's all the fields I'm giving, going anywhere else, is ending up with one, the one is supposed to give is taking. Those who start working the path of the plasma understand the world of universal communication. You're going to understand things to happen. And they can keep online. And those of you who become more and more experienced, those of you who work on the presence of the knowledge and the, what I call field forces of the existence, you can predict the future through the operation of your soul, where to be, where not to be, and how to be. Then you plan. Do I want to be here? Do I want my soul to be here to change my physicality? Or I like to experience it, but I cannot harm the others. I cannot steal life from the others. Read, as I've seen in the Universal Council new papers which is coming out. They finished the charter, it's going through translation and correction. The 99 beauties of the soul of the man, which is written in a way, is a copy of what is in God, that's the name Muhammad has mentioned, is in it. These are the attributes of the soul, and try to find out how you can connect one of the attributes of your soul to another, and then how one operates within it. You'll find out none of them is connected to each other through lying to each other, and none of them connected to each other through stealing from each other. You can be omnipotent, but at the same time you can be generous. But one doesn't take from the other one because the explanation, understanding of it is different. The structure for us is to understand the operation of the plasma, and in a way trying to understand how to allow the field flow of the plasma to take the direction of the motion which we want it to. And many of us know, we have tested it. At the beginning of these teachings some months ago, you start talking about the wish. I wish, which is my command. Now we come out of the nursery of the wish to the first class health. I know this is a conduct of my soul, but because I didn't know. Where the wish comes is where you move the filter to the position that you can give more from your soul. You call it a wish. I see it as a movement, as a shift of the emotion to direction of giving more. It's like a tap. Behind the tap, there is the same pressure of water. It's you who decides how much of that water you want to release. You call it a valve, we call it emotion. Otherwise, there is no difference. When you have the water in the pipe behind the tap, where you open that tap, that water does not know and does not care if it washes a hand, goes in the pot, becomes a food, or gets flushed on the toilet. Because it's there to serve a purpose. It doesn't say, oh, I'm not going out, this is a toilet, I don't want to go there. Or I'm not going in the pot, it's too hot. Or I'm not going, the hand is too dirty, I'm not washing this one. It shines, it rains unconditional. And this is what we have to understand. And then that extension we call it the control lying or cheating illegally. This process is going to damage a lot of work of those who made and built the path of belief on lying. And this is what I always said. We are not a religious organization, we are a scientific organization who understands the world. When you create a religion, you have to lie. That's the essence of it. Otherwise, you're no different. And if you're one, you don't need to lie because everything is on the table. This is what you have to understand. When you can control, when you understand the flow of the fields, you'll find out you receive. It's the way of nourishing the soul, is the way to receive it. That according to what it receives, you decide in what dimension you want to manifest that field as a plasma of against the physicality of the presentation, or as a sound, or whatever you want to call yourself. Try to understand the teaching stuff today. We share not with the soul. due to the lack of knowledge which has been put in. I said in one of my talks, Hitler as a Jew killed so many in the physical dimension. But Einstein as a scientist, as a Jew, destroyed the whole world of the science. More worse murder than actually a man who did the physical part. And a lot of problems we see in understanding the plasma, in understanding work, comes from this, what I call, I cannot find the name for him sometimes. Everything has to be, you understood partially what we talk about Moses, that he stole and he killed, and cheating and lying became his pattern. And we see the same thing with Einstein as part of his pattern. We have to understand the totality. We have to understand what is and how we can receive. The biggest, one of the last, what I call blockages for the knowledge seekers is, okay, but how can I feed my soul? And how that into the dimension of physicality? There are 2 points in there. Why do you need to combat in the physical dimension when you can see and enjoy the expression of the soul as a part? And if you are given a job to manifest yourself in the physical dimension, which is your agreement of your emotion with your soul, which is the physical emotion, physical soul with your totality or the soul of the man, that you know I want to experience, but I'm coming back. I'm not taking from you the soul. I'm going to find a new dimension. Maybe I can bring more that we both enjoy. Then you can shift from dimension to the change position. You can change from physicality to the dimension of soul. To come to the dimension of physicality of the man is very hard. It's extremely unpleasant experience. But when you are given a job to do and you try to do, you come to an agreement between the soul and the physicality of the soul to manifest yourself in the dimension of man, you take accept because you know you're safe somewhere down the line. There is a pattern for the work that you are there to serve. You are there to bring the change, to elevate the others in the dimension of physicality. Many of you who manage to reach that point, the earth is the nursery of diversity of the fields of the existence. Then in time you become what we call the soul of the prophets in different dimensions, positions in the universe. I've spoken about this before. Then if you get it right and you understand when the message comes like that, preach on the corner, which gives the message to the soul inside that there is a change here, there is something happening, then you respond according that it keeps everyone safe. Then you work within the realm of the universal community. When you teach, when you are, then you teach the correct way. Don't teach the lying way. You don't teach because it's not ingrained in part of the soul which you accepted. Even though you manifest yourself in that dimension of physicality. Those of you who go from one position to another, the first thing you learn that you start doing it is that you cannot lie to your own soul and to your own soul. At that point, you start moving. It might sound very strange to a lot of you, but very soon, one by one of you, those of you who are clear in soul will understand and start shifting. and start experiencing the beauty of the creation in different dimensions and strength. Many of you will manifest yourself in America, in Spain, and you learn. And strange, wherever you land, you speak the language, because language is part of the emotion. This is why we chose the universal language and the universal community as what they want to call one universal council. Those of you who might have a problem in physical dimension to speak two languages with the soul, even though you're aware of the physicality of the soul, you speak the language and you look and shape of where you come out. And God knows if you wanted the soul to be Chinese and you end up as in center of Tokyo. It means I made the mistake. I've got to go back in and come out the way I thought. Where did I not get it right? And you find out most of the time, you manifest yourself in a dimension where your fear balances are equal, and what we call in the verbal language, you find a peace, you find a balance between the soul and the physicality of the soul, that you can go there, but I have to be able to support you. I cannot support at this time with what I have. For you to appear with 20 arms or 14 legs. But if you go to 2 legs, 2 arms, I have enough, we can support it. If you want to be blonde, maybe we can do. If you want to be black, maybe we can do. Then you find you cannot lie to the soul, and you cannot lie to soul of physicality. And then you find peace, correction. And then you find the soul of physicality does not have to need to have the physicality to attract energies to get it fed for it to feed the soul of the man. Maybe some of you understood what I said. And if you understood, I've shown you how to feed your soul. And through it, feed your physicality. And it goes back to the original teachings, which are always emphasized. The strongest feed the weakest. And if you can take the soul of physicality, which is a smaller in body of equal, into the center of the soul of the man, you create a condition that the universal community, universal field forces trying to feed the physical soul, feed the soul of the man with it, they feed the physicality of the man. This is part of what we have to understand. Many of you were wondering, how can I feed my soul? How can I feed my soul that I can feed my physicality? That it can feed me to exist in any dimension. Now the teaching come together in that part for you, if you understand. And this is how our physicality is fed through our soul. We brought the sperm and egg to create the soul. The soul is creation created soul of physicality. The interaction of the soul and the physical soul led to the creation of physical matter dimension, where both are happy. Goes back to the same teaching. Magnetic field, interaction gives gravity. The interaction between gravity and the magnetic field gives you the weight, and then what we call the mass, and then the weight and the rest of it. Where the mass is equal. The mass is the soul of the physicality, if you look at it. And then the interaction between the soul of the man and soul of physicality and environmental field forces gives you the weight. Manifestation of physicality. So any of you, if you understood the teaching of today, can feed yourself anywhere in the universe. But you have to have the trust to understand the strength of the soul of that cell at the tip of your finger. Is that single little tiny fish in billions of fishes that is emotion can affect the totality of a billion. And the trust in the other billion that what it feels is correct, we can follow. And then it goes back to the purity of thou shalt not lie even to himself. Because if that little fish on the corner said there's food and they all go there and there's no food, so much energy wasted that so many will die on the way. Man's demise coming from the lying to himself, from his soul physicality, and those who are there to be fed and to receive from that. When a wife lies to a husband in adultery, she is demised herself and her own children. The same with a man. Now you understand. When we accept a certain level in consuming the soul of physicality, eating flesh, eating meat, eating vegetables, eating another thing to collect, we steal, and that's the punishment you stay in the dimension of physicality of today. The sooner man can learn to feed his soul through the soul of his physicality, that it does not need to feed from killing another, demise of another soul, then the man becomes man of universe. And now most of you should understand what to do. Because the biggest problem for most of the followers of the foundation in past 7-8 months is, okay, how can I feed my soul that I cannot eat? And past 2 years, 3 years, they went drinking the water. We trapped the energy of the life, of the existence in another water just because we could not see it. We called it the gas water. And then we abuse it because we still touch the soul of the man, or a fruit or a vegetable which was given. This way, we are there when it's free. How can I explain it in a better way than if you're in an aircraft and you fly? If you're flown, for example, in northern hemisphere, or you're going from east to west, or west to east, usually you have a tailwind, or you have a headwind. You arrive much faster when there is a tailwind, and you go slower when you have a headwind. So we need to understand the essence of the creation, and through it, now we understand the soul of the physicality, and we can position the full soul of physicality inside the soul of the man. Then the interaction of the two creates a field, magnetic field process, what we call the repulsion or magnetical field, which becomes the physicality structure of the man.
It's not much talking.
Then it's easy to feed from the field of the universe without ever
I haven't
touching
like
another
at all. But yeah, come on.
Then the universal community opens the arms, because you're not there to teach them. The other one doesn't want you. Don't wonder what does it taste. This green things with 20 legs, does it taste like a fish, or does it look like a chicken? Few nights ago, some time ago, last night actually, we were in a restaurant and there were 3 pots of soup. And the people who are around me, they know we are fed up of eating the same animals: chicken, fish, lamb, pork, or whatever. We need to create a new animal. And I walked into these 3 pots of soup, and in front of it, it says chicken soup. I said, okay, my Jewish blood tells me chicken soup is a good thing. So I thought I'd try some chicken soup. They call it a Shabbat dinner. So I put my ladle in to get the soup out, and I thought, that's a strange soup. It's a fish in it. I called the guy and said, have you created a new animal called chicken fish? This is a fish soup. This is a chicken soup. I said, no, look, guy, it's a fish in it. It cannot be. No. Created a new animal here, not that I haven't seen before. Then we opened the next pot. It was red and it looked like and it says red something fish soup. And I said, look, it is red. And then there was a discussion. They wouldn't serve anybody till they found out what they put in these curry pots. And one was a cauliflower. It says, this is a cauliflower. It says, we know that they're cheating. This is a cauliflower. But what's this new animal called? Chicken fish soup. And what is this one? Oh, it was the red snapper soup. Snapper is a fish. So you got two soup fishes. Anyway, everybody stopped eating, and the chef came, and they went through a lot of discussion what's going on. At the end, they found out they put the labels the wrong way, but somebody has put the wrong label from outside in. So the chicken soup fish was actually a fish soup. The red snapper soup was a chicken soup with a tomato in, but they didn't bring it out the right way. So we had a good laugh, and I said, now can you imagine the space we're trying to taste new animals, new fishes? Do we need to? Or do we take their souls when we take them, when we eat? And then their soul affects our soul. Those of you who think you are vegetarian, you know my opinion about the vegetarian. Now I give you something to discuss. If as a being we consume one lamb, but none of us can eat it, we split it 30. Well, it's 40 of us, 50 of us are guilty for once. But when you consume vegetarian food, how much soul you consume, but that's not the problem. They say the vegetarian, I tell you why, because they kill so many. The shame of the soul does not allow anything else. The burden on the soul for what is taken so many does not allow the soul to elevate. And then when you cannot elevate, you cannot evolve, you see them very calm. They're very serene people, vegetarians. Yes, I know you should talk to their soul. You should see the burden of. This is what we have to understand. To what extent we have the complex of life. And don't rely on me, analyze it yourself. Then you don't need no priest, no guru, no prophet. In the space you understand what is going on. But you have to realize one thing. What is food to me? I am food to him. Why? You think you consume at the same time in giving to you, which becomes the soul of your physicality, it makes itself to elevate to the higher point too. If it's clever enough, position now, I serve to be served. You understand the structure of the physicality, the structure of physics. If we now understand the reality and then talk and walk into the condition of the conventional plasma, and then through understanding of that we can receive the plasma of the fields, we don't need to eat another matter, then you understand how to feed yourself in the space of the universe. And from then on, nothing is delicious. Everything is beautiful to give. You will run and says, eat me, I want to give you more. You're so beautiful that I can give you more, that you become more beautiful. No, this is, eat you, you're so beautiful, I have to take you in me. Any questions? That's like this.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to approach all that. Questions from people. Let's remind people that if you're in as a attendee list, or you can open your microphone to speak. And we also have panelists. We have 30 panelists here who would like to say something and ask a question about the topic here. Just looking at
No questions. It's cool. Understood what they've done in their life.
well, there was an interesting from Sylviane in the live stream earlier. I was trying to get it in. There's no opportunity. He said, "Hello from France. I had a dream this week. Gosh, he was surrounded with gold car. Mr. Kesh brings the richness of the understanding of the soul. Thank you so much for your teachings, Mr. Kesh. Thank you." That was from Sylviane.
Okay. So, shalom. Carefully honest. Welcome to the panel. Thank you for coming.
Shalom, brother. How are you?
Shalom. I'm doing good. Got challenged by these devils, right? And they all ran and never came here to back up their words. So I got one of my adversaries, we come got him working for me being God, right? To find one of his homeboys or devil himself or an adversary or Satan himself to come in here and perform the live IQ challenge. He said he had somebody for me and he'll send them over, but of course they haven't showed up yet because they know better, especially with me exposing the type of stuff that I study on a regular basis to the audience. They know not to show up. So this seminar here is a common workshop that happens constantly on their channel. It's called the Kesh Foundation. So he uses plasma technology. He says that Einstein was a flaming retard and a troublemaker who was putting nothing but lies in the science books around the world. And everyone who thinks they know something don't whenever they study Einstein. So he said that Tesla was a true scientist that understood the essence of science. And then he went on to teach about how his plasma technology moves around in the machine that he created to harness the plasma technology. So he has two little machines, like one the size of a Coke bottle, and then one the size of like a car battery. The one the size of a car battery can power a community of 20,000 people. The one the size of the Coke bottle can power a vehicle.
Switch your mic over.
Well, are you sure? Okay. Because I only have one mic, and every time you tell me to do that.
You know what I'm talking about? Like up in the where that little wheel is at? How you switch it from mic to default, from default back to mic. Just switch it over one time. If it's on microphone, put it on default. If it's on default already, put it on microphone. That's what I do anyway. And it fixes the sound.
How's that? Testing, mic check 1 5.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, the plasma technology that's the size of a Coke can power a vehicle. You see. So I'm gonna be Yanae, if he hasn't seen it already. I don't believe I ever show it on my channel. I think I might have shown it like once or twice way back in the beginning of my channel. So I don't know if he's even been watching it that long. I know he's been in the group since 2015, but I don't know if he's been watching my channel for that long. And so, um, right, this will be a benefit to the buying back our community's concept. Technology is super duper cheap. Like the one the size of the Coke can, right, is something like $800 or $500 or something like that. And then the one the size of a car battery is something like $1,200 or $1,500. And the one the size of a car battery can power a whole neighborhood. It can give power to an entire neighborhood.
That's awesome.
So this guy that teaches his technology, right? He said that if the governments do not accept this technology, he's going to approach the nationals of every country. So I don't know what type of stuff he's been getting into, but I'm pretty sure that what he's doing is infinitely dangerous. So, I don't know how that's working out. But I know very well I'm going to purchase enough of these for the community, for the affiliate community. So I guess I can get back into the presentation if you don't have any questions. And I want to let you know something, right? I like you a lot, okay? And I think we should be together. So we got to go through like a proving process. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I like you. You cool. Smart as can be. Very knowledgeable. I see you as a leader.
So, now that we got that out the way, because I don't do PDA very
I
often.
know you shocked the.
You know what I'm saying? So if you were here, I might have to kiss you on screen or something. So I can get back to the presentation. We're talking about today. Okay, so this is the live IQ challenge with Richard versus Clayne, and we have a special guest, a very special guest of the hour, Truthfully Honest here, and we're testing each other out and checking each other out and see if we can be compatible to raise a family together. And we got on the screen, you have been listening to the 212th Knowledge Seekers Workshop that was aired on February 22nd, 2018 by Cash Foundation. So you got to listen to Cash so you can catch up to what's going on around the world. It's a new technology, a plasma technology that can power our communities for dirt cheap, okay? And it's clean. It is perfectly clean, meaning 0% emissions. And it is inexpensive, very inexpensive compared to the fossil fuels that we use and the electricity grid that we have currently. So enjoy continuing this workshop here.
That was kind of nice. And I see that
Is there supposed to be sound right now?
Hold on a second, let me pause.
Okay.
It's, okay, what you say?
I didn't know if you was playing audio or not.
Oh, you can't hear it at all?
No.
Wow. Been playing it all. Been hearing it. I've been playing it about an hour and a half now. Okay. Well,
I'll mute myself and I'll go back and listen a little bit and see if I can hear it there.
okay. Let me know before I start it back up, because I don't want to keep playing it if nobody's getting any edification. Okay.
Okay, for the little bit that I did check out, like it was in and out, like the audio was messed up, and I was just clicking on a few spots and listening. Audio was messed up if there was any, and someone in the chat just said, "The Truth Hurts" podcast said we can't hear anything, Sam.
Okay. We can't hear it. Okay, but you can hear me though, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand why my computer does that. Like, it doesn't.
Send me the.
Let me go borrow.
Send me the link and I'll play the
external speaker.
What's the timestamp on where you are? Do you want to start it over? Send me the link and I'll play the audio for you.
All right. It is the time step is 1:21:02. I'm putting it in the internal chat. You on your laptop?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it's 1:21:02. And you can share your screen too at the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Something up. I have a question about.
Okay, so for the record, I just want to let you know that you're my woman now. You gotta keep put them horny guys in check until
Yes.
Okay.
You know I'm super shy. I was like, and I told you I was like, okay, so I get it.
Don't embarrass me out here.
Oh, never, never. I'm down for you. Okay, let me share my screen.
Some thought. I guess my question, no, I don't guess. My question comes to this aspect of vegetarian. And just to hear more about that Mr. Gish is saying, where he said, well, you know my attitude, or you know my thoughts about vegetarian. Well, I don't. I guess I don't listen to everything. But I am very interested. I guess I'm a vegetarian. I've always related to being a vegetarian. Because if I'm at a table and somebody's serving meat, then I'll usually have a bite of it or so. But I find that I don't care to put meat in my body. It seems to be harder to digest. Maybe that's in my head. How well does one know themselves? But he's talking about killing other beings, basically. And that's the whole thing he's saying is that you're killing many more beings by being vegetarian, like treating, I suppose, say wheat as an example, or grain. You might treat grain as a separate being, eating many beings, as opposed to the meat eater, where one animal, one being, would feed maybe 20 people or something like that. There's another, sort of the concept. Another argument that says that the plant itself, wheat, let's say, would have maybe 1,000 babies, but the calf itself would have only one. So which one is, more evolved? I always considered that breathing, living, moving animals are higher evolved than vegetation, and vegetation is higher evolved than minerals and so basically maybe there's kingdoms of minerals, kingdoms of vegetables, and kingdoms of animals, and our quest would be to love from the top down the best we can, but nobody's going to go and try to save the rocks and kill all the cows, let's say. So we're going to try to save the mammals first. What is, all all the very higher evolved animals. So it's better to be a vegetarian? In my view, I never actually heard that. Mr. Cash has said this several times. He's brought it up in the past. That's his brought that perspective forward. That
Do you want to know? Do you want to know how Mr. Cash explains it?
I would love to. Thank you.
He says, I prefer to kill one animal, one soul, and share it with many souls than to kill. If you have a bowl of rice in front of you, each grain is a soul because it has a new offspring of life in it. So it carries its own individual soul, each grain. So if you eat a bowl of rice, you can imagine the amount of souls which is in that plate. So this is how Mr. Kesh is trying to explain the proportion. And not only that, he repeated quite a few times, he says, I prefer to have one soul to share with many than to take so many souls and you think you're not killing. But that one single grain carries the same soul as that one, let's say, bigger animal. The killing is in no way, no measure any different.
But what if you, getting it from the thought, the intellectual, you can say that, I just can't feel it. Because I'm a gardener, I take care of the plants, I help them grow, I save their seeds, I recompost their bodies, I take plants into my body, they become a part of me. Yes, I know that. So it's a living exchange with the plant, and becoming it, and saving their seeds. And part of the plant, one plant would produce, many seeds, and so it's so beautiful to harvest some tomatoes and bring them in and see them ripen and then when one comes to eat them, it's a celebration. At the same time, you pull out some of their seeds and you put them in a little plate and you take care of them in such a way so that you have to treat them a certain way or they're not potent. You treat them a certain way, they're potent, and then you dry them and you put them away so then that they can be planted and they can grow. So I become part of the plant, the process of the plant reproducing, and I feel that it's a part of it. I can't, when there's beautiful seeds come out of something or a squash or something, I can't throw them all away. Some of them have to be saved, and some of them get back into the garden, some of them get into the fields, and that way I'm a part of that cycle. I'm a part of the plant, and that makes me happy. It's beautiful to plant one's own seeds, and then they're grown with love. The people that are growing them, they're growing them to take it to market. Or if I'm growing something, I know I'm going to take it to market. I've participated in the growing. I haven't done the growing. I've participated in the growing and the health of the plant. And then that goes to the market. And then, somebody sees the plant. It makes them happy. There's something in it. They eat the plant. It makes them healthy. It has also something to do with the soil that's grown, that's been taken care of. And so one tries to eat, from locally grown food where that people have put their, love and care into the growing, and it hasn't just been growing the plant so you can make money or something like that. That feels a whole lot different to me. And then if you have to be out, you have to eat, you don't know where it's come from, you don't know how it was grown, you can have a feel for that, then somehow you bless it. Somehow you're also blessing the whole kingdom. It's not just the plant kingdom, it's a kingdom of life. You know, it's all the same somehow, that life. It's just differentiated out to different beings. Some plant beings, some animal beings. But
Okay, well, let's let Mr. Kesh respond to that. You've delineated a good argument, you might say, for the sides that go for more of a plant-based diet and so on. So what do you say?
well, I don't. It's not an argument. I mean, this is
Well,
not
you're presenting a viewpoint, a perspective of many people. That's what I'm saying. It's not
thank you.
an argument in terms of a debate. There is a debate about this in many realms, you might say. I think Mr. Kesh can help
Thank
clarify.
you.
I hope is Mr. Kesh there. I'm not sure if he's back yet, actually. Let's see. Mr. Kesh, are you there now? See you on the list. Might be having connection problems here. He was trying to get in to speak earlier, but
Do you also remember, Rick, in the time till Mr. Kish comes back, that we have become numb? We have put the noise of what we chew so far in the background of our being that we don't listen anymore. We prevent to listen what pain and suffering is caused. And that's why this knowledge is here to start understanding and to explore it and try to make it in a way, in different ways, to accept for people the way we look at animals, plants, trees, or whole environment, that we take a responsible position in how we are conducting ourselves in this paradise. And that some things, because it's not because they're a habit and it's not because they've been there as a custom and for so long, that doesn't mean that it is okay. And that's the road and the path we're trying to make awareness in how we can change it. And the respect, and a lot of people, as the gentleman just came to explain, a lot of farmers have respect. A lot of people which are running farms have respect for the animals. And I know a lot of people have pets and animals at home. But we have to understand the difference between the reality and what we think is reality. And I think this is the message Mr. Kesh is trying to make clear for all of us. We simply did not know. It's a long, long, long time back. It was known. And the beauty in so many ways is, if you look at the Indians, they will not take a single life unless they request and they ask permission of the soul before they will kill the animal. Even the plants, the herbs, the fruits they consume, everything has a ritual of respect. And this is something we are not so close in touch with anymore. is the way they have been brought up through their ancestors. That knowledge is still present, and they still apply it.
Okay,
And
pause
we
it.
learn a lot. And this is the part Mr. Gish is trying to explain. That maybe it looks okay, but that doesn't mean it is okay. And very slowly, in different
Pause it right there for a second.
we're bringing the reality onto the table. Because,
What'd you say?
as Mr. Gish is
Pause
trying
it for a
to
second.
explain and extend,
Okay, for the people in the audience showing up late, we are having a contest, a live IQ challenge. And truthfully, Honest said yes to claim your inheritance to be his woman. Okay.
Proving
So-
each other.
And that's
You want to
just,
explain what proving is to these to people?
yes, we're getting to know each other and making sure that we're compatible to raise a family. And so if that process works out, then I will have to propose to her publicly and all this good stuff, and she will have to say yes in front of everybody. We will have to humble ourselves to do these things. And it's going to be just as embarrassing as today. But check this out.
Oh, you're embarrassed?
No, not at all. Just, we both shy. Now check this out.
I know, right?
While we're waiting for the contestant for the IQ challenge, we are listening to the Kesh Foundation so that you guys can catch up with the science that's going on in the world, And so, no, I'm not soft, fat head, and I'm just, not used to this kind of thing since I've been holy, since I'm a holy guy. We don't get an opportunity to get in relationships often as holy people. So we take relationships very seriously. All right, so check this out. We're waiting on a contestant for the live IQ challenge. George Zimmerman, who is undercover on YouTube as Saint Travon of Skittles and admits over and over again that he is the man who killed Trayvon Martin. And this is how I figured out that he was George Zimmerman, right?
What can you help me stop sharing my screen?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't like my photo up there like that.
Okay. And so he rejected. He challenged me to an IQ contest. So I accepted his challenge, and he got scared and said, "Oh no, I won't do it. We know you got a IQ of 80." Okay. And the reason that he backed out is because I warned him before he came into the challenge that I have an IQ of 135. And so he got scared and ran away. Then Liam was watching that confrontation that we were having in the back chat, and Liam Rinaldi, all right, and he decided to accept the challenge, except for he's going to wait till Tuesday or Wednesday to do it so that he can practice varying IQ tests. Okay, so no problem. I'll give him that time, and he's still going to back out just like any other coward. So about 6 other people was watching that confrontation. Some guy, Indian guy named Agam, this lady in Florida, what's her name, is Sweets or something like that. Oh no, it's Pussy. What's her name? Sexy Kitty. She was
Bad word.
and about 3 or 4 or 5 other people was watching it, and this guy named Richard that lives in Thailand was watching it. So Richard was like, "That sounds fun." I said, "Well, when you're ready, Richard." He said, "Anytime." So yeah, just woke up. It's 4 o'clock. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, his time, whenever he saw it, and he had just woke up, and so he decided to come on, and then so we gave him the link, and he just never came on. So we're patiently waiting for anybody who's dumb enough to come on here and make an ass of themselves on live air doing a live IQ test a live IQ challenge against me face to face in real time. And so while we're waiting, we're listening to the Kesh Foundation, who has plasma technology that they are trying to proliferate to every bordered country on the earth. And so the leader of the Kesh Foundation, Mr. Kesh, he wants to proliferate that technology around the world. And he said if the governments of the world do not accept that technology, then he will be forced to approach the nationals of every bordered nation. So that you know who the nationals are, like your white separatist homies, Fathead, you know them guys like Cryptor and George Zimmerman and JT and all them guys. They're white separatists. So they're white nationalists. And so Kesh is prepared to approach the nationalists of each country if the governments do not accept his technology, because he's jumped through all the red tape and he's ran through all the red tape and jumped through all the hoops that they put in front of him to make the technology super safe. And though it's impossible for the technology to blow up, it's 100% clean, meaning that it doesn't have any emissions at all. And so we're just listening to them talk about that, and he just talked about how the plasma moves around in the machine that he created for it, which is a small machine. One of them is the size of a car battery, and one of them is the size of a soda can. And so now they're talking about how all life has spirit, and Bible knowers already know that everything alive has spirit. You know, how can we stop this? Truth Hurts with broadcast. The Truth Hurts podcast asks, how can we stop this, bro? Okay, so you want to stop. I don't know what do you want to stop?
What I don't understand is you say they have this new science technology or whatever, and if the countries don't accept it, they're going to go to the racist people.
Well, racist.
What does this mean? Like, is it something that's going to harm us? Because I don't completely understand it.
Yeah. So it is the Kesh Foundation. The man over the Kesh Foundation, Mr. Kesh, is the top scientist on the earth at this moment, right? So he created a technology that is perfectly clean and extremely safe. It's impossible to harm anything. And so he made it extraordinarily affordable, and it powers much more powerfully than the traditional energies that we have available to us, the electricity, the fossil fuels and stuff like that, and the AC, you know, AC and DC and all that stuff. So it's much cleaner, it's much safer, it's much more affordable, and it is much more powerful than what we currently have in place.
Okay, so he found a better power source.
There you go. So he proposed it to the governments of the world, and in the beginning he still continues to face a heavy pushback from the governments of the world because of the politics and special interests that block these type of technologies. And so of course his life must be in danger, you know. So he said if the governments don't accept the technology that they made him modify hundreds of times in order to make sure that it fit all of the regulations of each country, right? So he had to figure out, you know, how to make it acceptable to the governments in the first place. So he went through those different variations of the technology to meet all their requirements, which took years. So He said if they reject it now that he has met all of their requirements, if the governments of the earth reject it, then he's going to approach the nationals. So I'm a national. I'm an Israelite national. So most Israelites are nationals. The Black Power people are nationals. The white separatists are nationals. And so um, racist people in in every bloodline are the most mature people out of every bloodline when they come to the realization that their particular bloodline is above every other bloodline. That makes them mature. I'm not saying that maturity is equivalent to intelligence, but it's a form of maturity there. So no, it's not something. It's not a bad thing. Truth Hurts podcast. Okay, stop the bus. I want to get off. Fathead wants to get off. Okay, right. Truthfully, that's what I meant. Yeah, I didn't get it. Okay, that sounds like a good thing. Right. Right. So but anyone on earth can buy it. Like any individual can buy the technology. But he just wants to sell it to the governments of the earth because they are the richest entities on earth.
But why would he trust this in their hands? Like they're not. What if they bought it and bought the rights to it and then just put it away in a little corner and didn't do nothing with it? Like these people are not out to save us money and to heal us. They removed all the cancer, all the trees that can cure cancer. They won't even allow any of that in our country. They removed it out of our country. They're dead set on us dying. Like what are those rocks called in Georgia?
Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah, the Georgia Guidestones. Like these people have a plan, and it's not for us to do better.
Mm-hmm.
There's a war coming.
Right.
Oh,
so they cannot buy the rights to the technology. It's an open source technology, and he teaches all scientists, anyone who's willing to listen and learn, how to recreate his technology. And it's an open source technology, and it cannot be owned by anyone. So that part is covered. So a lot of the compassionate scientists around the world are doing that lately. The past 5 or 10 years, they release only open source technologies, meaning that they cannot be trademarked, copyrighted, and monopolized by anyone. So, of course, the governments of the world are going to take the technology, retrofit it to weaponize it, because that's just their nature, is to weaponize everything. So, as we build our communities with the buying back our communities concept, as proposed by Yaniv Yashala, then we're going to purchase this technology to power those communities.
Oh, you went to the workshop today?
No, it's tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so there's a workshop, a live conference in DC that was held today from 12 to 6 about creditors. So it's a creditors conference, and it's led by Tazadak Shah Bey. So we couldn't make it there physically, so we're there with them in support and spirit, And so tomorrow is the internet workshop that you can sign up on Zoom and attend that workshop to hear the full budget for the concept of buying back our communities. This is 48 separate communities in the 48 separate states of the continental United States, wherever you can drive. Hawaii and Alaska will not be included in the initial stage of BBOC. And Yaniv Yashala has proposed a very extensive plan that basically details everything necessary. So Club of New Jerusalem is linking up with Yanae Yasharala in order to provide a facility or a means of voting so that the collective can come to varying agreements on different issues that we have amongst ourselves. So we disagree on things as a collective, and we can iron out those differences by voting, and then allowing that system to run for a while to see if it actually works in the future. You know what I mean? We got that app. If you go to Google Play Store and type in Club of New Jerusalem, and then go down to the apps, you'll see us, and you can download that to your Android phone right now, or Android device. So right now it's only for Android until we learn how to put it on iTunes, Windows, and BlackBerry. Okay, so did that answer your question, Fathead? Please change all these names of your comrades to Joe and Sheila for us dumb Scots.
No, he said to you.
I'm not giving you no. I'm not giving you no easy black names for you, dude. It's not gonna happen. You're just gonna have to remember all our names. Thanks for the
you want us to change our name again? The damn words.
Toby, you want us to accept Toby. Thanks for the good info, claims. I'm gonna have to research more. No problem. Okay, now Moore, you're gonna have to become an Israelite because I don't trust Moors at all. So
who's a Moor?
Hear me every time you come on here. The truth hurts.
Who's a Moor? You a Moor? The truth hurts?
Will is a Moor, yeah. Yeah, he's a Moor. Are you a Moor, Will?
That's not good.
Not my fault. It's all right. Okay, I will say it in my Scottish voice. I'm not a Moor. Okay, so you just you don't like labels, so you're kind of like an atheist or something. What, or do you label yourself under anything or what? Scoop this. All right. I'm a proud man of color searching for the truth. Okay, well, the truth is that you're an Israelite. So hurry up and figure that out, and so that you can come on this panel and talk with us and learn and with us. You know,
yeah.
I learn something new every day that I talk to people.
Okay, I like that. He said, I know which label to use. Well, I like that, you're searching for the truth and that you are a proud man of color. You need to, you should look at the video that we did last night, Friday night. It's called Friday Night Lights, Part 4. We help bring out the truth to our people with the Most High's words, not ours. Oh, he said that's why he's on here. He's always trying to learn.
Well, he's never on here unless you're on here. So he's trying to learn your real name, I suppose.
What?
He doesn't. Never see him. So Fathead.
I think when you go on early is when he shows up, but when you go on late, he don't.
Okay, so Fathead has a serious question. He says, I still have my name on my pajamas. I hate labels.
What?
All right, so we got to address it some kind of way, So your label is Scottish. Scott.
That's why you can't get it out.
You are Scottish. I'm not trying to holler at your queen. Oh, look. She's a princess, not a queen. Queens run people and land and resources and make things happen.
I think he liked your accent.
Right. I pop on your live when I see it. You got to hit the bell, man, so you can see it all the time. You can see it pop up on your phone. Okay, I think they're bored of the presentation, the scientific presentation. So
Okay, well let's. I want to talk about it though from um our people, and I'm rubbing the back of my hand. That means our skin color. Uh, that's actually an energy source our people need. Like, because I tell people all the time, the light company, the light companies are really abusing our people financially. These people have so many ways to get billions of dollars out of us constantly. And there's a lot of different ways. Like what happened to the cars running on oil? Like they was running on that what was that? That vegetable oil back then. They had changed it where you didn't need gas, but yet because of the billionaire gas companies, they will not. What was people's cars running on for a moment there? Like my car is a hybrid, so my car runs on battery and gas. It switches over, and it's a new hybrid, so it's not. I don't got to plug it up and nothing like that. It's new. So, huh?
see, that's good. Your mentality is going towards the renewable energies.
Yeah, and it saved me money. So my thing is they have ways. This country has stolen a lot of people's knowledge, not just our own. Okay? So they know how to save money if they want to. How does a greedy country save the people money when it's built on stealing from the people, robbing the people, abusing the people?
Yeah, yeah, they had cars running on water. Will is correct, absolutely correct. The Truth Hurts podcast. He said they had cars running on water and they had electricity running off of urine, and both of those are absolutely correct. So the two little 12-year-old Kenyan girls figured out that you can make electricity out of urine, so they made a machine that to do that. And there are plenty of people in the American history who use water. They carbonize. Let me see. They excite the water in some type of way that separates the water into hydrogen and oxygen, and then they recombine those into a fuel, and they can just put it right there in your trunk, and it is zero emissions. All it does is emit water vapor. So it's 100% clean energy, and the special interests have buried that technology. They also have this mineral that um, does is very powerful too. It's illegal to mine it. I forget the name of it every time, but they had a little car. They had a car like a Lamborghini looking, futuristic looking car, right? That ran on 1 ounce of this stuff, and it can run on that fuel for 100 years. And that ounce of fuel will stay in that car and power it for 100 years. I forget the name of that mineral. It's in the ground. They have to mine it, and it's illegal to mine in the United States. I could look it up right quick though. Let me see. Uh-huh. the name of the, let me see.
The Truth Hurts podcast says, Claim, have you heard about the life plant? It's a plant that you can use to make electricity.
The life plant?
Mm-hmm.
LIFE?
Yes.
No. That's a good one. See, we need people like you that think about these things and think these ways. We need as many people on the team as possible that appreciate science. Okay, I'm looking for that mineral now as we speak.
The life plant, huh? See, like, we have a lot of smart people, including you. Like, why don't y'all get together and make? I mean, like, do we need someone else's technology in order to have these communities thriving off of low energy? Because there is going to be no bills or rent. So, well, basically, you pay in other ways. But I'm just saying, like, why don't our people come together and make something? Like, why do we always want to rely on somebody else to do it first, or we find somebody else is doing it and we want to, like. He just got to talking about a life plant. Can any of our people get together and do something like find an effective way?
Of course, absolutely. Of course we can. So we have to be in proximity first and prove that we can live together, in harmony. So the law is going to be in place in our communities in order to foster a form of safety for the citizens, and then we're going to have a security force that fosters a form of security against invaders, right? And this will give us the time and the to come up with our own stuff. So now, in the meantime, we have to pump gas into our cars, and we have to use air conditioners that are invented by and manufactured by other people, and we have to use refrigerators manufactured by other people, and we have to go to our enemy in the want of all things until we come together. Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. We have to come together first, then live in that community for years, and have our little think tanks and our scientific part of our community come up with inventions that we can use on our own and sell to the rest of the world. Did that make sense?
Yes. Especially when you said we have to go to our enemy in one of all things.
Mm-hmm.
I had to remember Deuteronomy 28. That's very true.
So that mineral I was trying to think of is called thorium. Thorium is illegal to mine at the moment. Be honest with you, right? I really truly believe that the Most High is setting up the world governments for particular things. He sets up science for particular things. He sets up everything that we see for the benefit of the elect. So whenever we see, these governments making it illegal for thorium to be mined, and there's a treasure out there that our family is the rightful heir to. So that treasure is illegal for the nations of the earth to dip into that treasure. So I really believe that lots of these things are being reserved for the elect to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
The 144?
No, the 144 are going to reign in heaven with Hamashiach, with Jesus Christ. Okay, so the elect are the
Yahushua.
one third who survived the war.
You cannot be afraid to say Yahushua. If people don't know that who you're talking about, they need to go do their research. They're here for the truth, right? So Yahushua.
Well, I don't call him Yahushua. I call him Emmanuel
Really? Why?
because that's the name that is used in the Bible. The only
Okay.
two names I use are Emmanuel because that's in the Bible, and Jesus Christ because that's in the Bible. The other names that people make up for him, I'm not. I'm not comfortable with those because first of all, nobody knows who you're talking about. Then that causes a conversation that doesn't need to be had. I just want them to know who I'm talking about right at the moment. So I talk in baby form and milk form to the audience, and then as we're teaching each other, then we can talk a lot deeper.
The Truth Hurt says, "Who is Emmanuel? Is he a prophet?"
Emmanuel is Jesus Christ, and he's God, according to Revelations 1:8. Says he's the Almighty, the beginning, the Aleph and the Alpha and Omega, which we know to be the Aleph and the Tav. So I had to catch myself from using Hebrew because I'm talking to people who don't speak Hebrew.
Okay, well, Fatso, I think is an atheist.
Yeah, yeah, he's my drinking buddy.
He's your, okay.
He lives in Scotland. Scotland Yard.
You don't need a drinking buddy. So Fatso, you're fired. You don't have a drinking buddy no more.
Yeah, I think she doesn't like your skin complexion there, Fat. So you got a rainbow skin complexion. She doesn't like that kind of stuff.
And you're a bad influence, so
The Jew first is Hebrew a race or a nationality? Are you talking?
nationality.
Okay. You want to go in on it?
The reason why they call us Hebrew Israelites is because that's our original language. But we are the Israelites because we are descendants of Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel when he wrestled with the angel in the desert, and the angel was impressed by his strength. So his name was changed to Israel, the same way Esau's name was changed to Edom. Okay, so that's how you get Hebrew Israelites. But that is our bloodline, where we come from. That is our nationality. Is that good?
Yeah, and the word Hebrew is a evolution of the man in the Bible named Eber, Eber. I forget how he said the real name. Like in Hebrew is I think it's something like Gabar or something like that. But in the Bible, in the KJV, his name is Eber. So his name was changed to Heber, and then that eventually became known as Hebrew. And Abraham was the first man to be called Hebrew in the Bible. But all the sons of Eber, which are 11 different nations, are called Hebrews. And so Israelites are just one of those Hebrew nations. There's 11 Hebrew nations, and Israelite is one of those Hebrew nations. And the language they speak was named after the man called Eber in the Bible.
Okay, so correction, Fatso. We are not only human. We're actually kind of superhuman. Like, we're children of the Most High. So our skin is melanated. That means that our eyes are also melanated. That's why our eyes are brown and y'all's are all different other kind of colors. Your eyes are not melanated. We see color differently. We taste food differently. And this is a scientific fact. We don't get sick easily like y'all do. That's why a lot of the Edom races have to do tricky things like this flu virus they're sending around to hurt us and attack us. Like, our organs are made stronger. So we're not all only human. We're made better. We could taste food better. That's why we see color better. That's why our styles and how we are just different. And it'll always be that way. because our bodies are made differently. Melanin is a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
But you don't see as well as we do. You don't see colors the way we do. And y'all don't taste food the way we do.
Yeah.
That's why, like I wonder, like back in the day, because I know you're not from America, but here in America, in the Jim Crow days, and back in the Jim Crow days, like the 1930s, 40s, like all the way back then, after slavery was born, the Jim Crow era, and they used to have all these signs here that would say, "You give a taste challenge anytime." How can you win the taste challenge when your taste buds are not like who's doing the tasting? What?
Fuck. That's crazy. Okay, when I was on chlorpromazine, my melanin went sky high. Wow.
Okay, so you ingested something,
Well,
right?
you know how it feels to be
To
superhuman.
give you you're 70?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's actually the aging process. As you get older, things decrease. Like your eyesight, your taste, your appetite. That's why y'all get full faster. Like you ever went to these restaurants and they have the senior meal, the senior menu. And in the senior menu, everything's cut in half because you feel full faster. So again, because of your age, you're still not allowed to be in that taste contest either because it just doesn't work. That's like I don't know. No. Okay, but what I was saying was, man, I forgot what I was saying.
Well, he said Largactil is an antipsychotic medication.
What is Largactil? What's that?
It's an psychotic medication. So it makes you want
Are
to
you
kill
taking
yourself.
meds for your mental status? Like you're taking meds for? Have you been diagnosed with something? Like what's going on? Why are you on psychotic drugs? Antipsychotic drugs to stop something, to prevent something, to keep something from progressing. Okay, so now I remember what I was saying earlier. Okay, so okay.
Oh, okay, a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, my point to what I'm about to say was to talk about, white people's immune system. It's very weak. So, and y'all are very fragile, hence your mental state. Y'all are very fragile. So that's why, like, black people have to tone down to make white people feel better about themselves. Like, black people have this thing where we laugh to make you feel more secure and safe in areas where nothing's funny. You ever notice that? Like, they'll laugh after saying something serious to make the white person not feel threatened.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to what I was saying about your immune system. Like back in the Jim Crow days, we had a lot of signs put up like white fountain, like white only, colored only. It was a real separation because I think back then they really understood, and they still understand, but they really understood that their immune system was different. So before they really had the scientific proof, hence the Tuskegee Airmen project, things like that, testing things that they did to see what made them more sick, what made them easier to get sick, what made us so strong, ways to prevent it. So before they knew ways to prevent it, they just stopped us from drinking out of the same fountains, try to quit and stop us from eating in the same restaurants and things like that. So it's something that's not broadcasted all over that y'all are weaker because you spend so much time making us believe and think that you're stronger when it's not. And I'm not the kind of person that'd be like, oh, I can't stand this type of person. I can not like you and still be cool with you. It's fine. But I'm just saying that there is a difference. Melanin versus non-melanated. They had, I forgot what community this was, what country this was in, but what they had did was they was trying to I'm gonna have to look this up and I'm gonna come back with it. But they was trying to do something to us, our people. And
What about the Tuskegee experiments?
no, not that. I know about that. But it's like they was trying to give us cancer. They was trying to do something at some point. And they was doing everything they could to make us sick, but for some reason we would not get sick. But they realized by giving us shades, sunglasses, shades, that weakened the society somewhere. And they ended up starting to die of diseases they were trying to give us. Because for a while they was trying to figure out how to kill us naturally.
Wow.
Yeah, and they still are trying to figure out how to kill us naturally. We are a really strong machine, and the only way to kill this machine is to have the machine attack itself.
You see
So,
that?
huh?
You see what Will said?
What do you say? Oh, okay. Truth Hurts podcast said they would love to come and chat with us. All right. Well, I'm just like,
He's got these 2-hour long hangouts where he's asking his audience questions, and it sounds like a more. That's why I asked him, was it more?
you know what? If you are more,
But he's not.
that's sad.
No, he's not. He's not. He's just a man of color trying to find the truth, and the Moors are offering the clearest, most structured presentations out here that make a lot of logical sense, but they're not the truth.
Oh, okay. So Fatso agreed. True, there is a difference. Okay, I'm done then. We've reached a clear understanding. I'm good now. Cause I mean those kind of things like when I was coming into the truth.
Link to Will?
Huh?
Can you get the link to Will?
Who's Will?
I mean, the Truth Hurts podcast.
Oh, I don't have I don't have a way to contact him.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I can get it.
And you know, if you put your link in the chat, Naked Man might show up.
Naked Man. Oh man, that was annoying.
Naked Man, you nasty.
You're nasty. Whew, he's probably watching right now. Man, I want you.
That man has so many drugs.
That man had a room full of drugs. He's balling out of control. Goodness gracious.
Hey, Fatso, is the opiate addiction really striking your land over there? The not your land, but the area that you're in over there, Scotland? I really want to know. Yeah, you was here when the naked dude showed up. I was like, he naked because he was leaning over to grab some more drugs to show us, and I saw like his side. You know how your side goes from here to your hip? It was empty around that hip area. You couldn't see nothing. You know what I'm talking about for you because you saw it. He said not opiates, but cocaine though. Well, opiates is made from the coca plant and like different opiates. Huh?
Drop your email, Will. Go ahead.
Okay, so the opiates is basically it's things like it's basically like like we all know the government is the pharmaceutical companies are nothing but drug dealers. They're legal drug dealers. So we know that. So your local neighborhood city drug dealer is selling things like coke, heroin, crack, ecstasy pills, and stuff like that. But what we forget is that coke used to be in our sodas. The government used to deal with that. Also, ecstasy used to be an actual pill that was described to married couples during marriage counseling to help them get to their emotional problems, to get to the breakthrough of what's wrong. So these things were all at one time, except for crack. They were legal. Or maybe crack was legal, but it was called something else in a different form. So all these things started somewhere. He put his link in the chat. All this stuff started somewhere. But when it get down to the lowest form of people, who they think is the lowest form of people, and if it's out of their control, that's when a prison sentence gets attached to it. Because when they say no, they mean no. But when God says no, then you can play with it. You can repent all you want 100 times a day, and it's okay. Bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
But ecstasy is something that used to be legal here in this country. And it was under a different name. It didn't just spring up out of nowhere. They just found another use for it. Like, I mean, have you ever heard of an ecstasy lab? Like, who's making the dang ecstasy? Think about it. Like, who's making this and pumping it out to our communities? I was talking to Pharaoh said that. I don't know if y'all know of that brother. Pharaoh said that. But he was saying that, like, I think it was him that was saying that they will just, like, the actual police and people like that, FBI agents and things like that, they will come to the ghettos and leave like a bag of guns somewhere where somebody can find them. They'll give them to narc, and they'll start selling them, pumping it out. They'll scratch off the serial number on them and start selling them. These things are fed to our communities. It's not just coming out of nowhere. There's no gun making place in the hood. There's no ecstasy lab in the hood. I mean, look what the white people doing with meth. They blowing themselves up. So can you imagine if they were making ecstasy? These fools are still making ecstasy and putting it in your neighborhood. The same thing as when Reagan put crack in our neighborhoods. They're still doing this. They never changed the game. They just change how it looks to us. They still do the same thing over and over. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The people are still dumb, sleeping, naive. They won't know it's us. That's their mentality. Am I breaking up?
Mm-mm.
Oh. But do you get what I'm saying, Clay? Am I boring you?
No. I'm waiting on Will to get here, and I'm looking for Fathead's email. Let's see if he come up.
Better not be new. Truth hurts. What if he get up here and he a white man?
He's black. You didn't know that?
He better be.
That first show we did together, he went.
Oh, you done a show with him before?
Did a show. No, me and you, the first show you came on here, or I came on your show, one of those, and he went and did a show. That was his first show. And so I could hear he was a black man, and he was just asking a whole lot of questions. It just sounds like, you know.
That was the first one I ever. That was me coming over here to your channel, and that was when Nudie Dude showed up. A lot. He was getting attacked by trolls that day. Like, it was bad.
That it was that day.
It was like they swarmed you. I was like, oh my goodness, get your link out of there.
Yeah, that was annoying.
They was like, you said enter at your own risk. I was like, Sometimes when you throw it out there,
not naked though. Sensible people enter at the risk of your cognitive dissonance being destroyed.
Well, true, Fatso. He says same in all poor areas. Drugs keeping peeps down. Dumb here too. Well, that's the thing about what's happening here in America. Their drug epidemic is finally backfired on them. The drugs that they was hoping they would send us through a 1960s, 70s era of really messed upness, 80s, beginning of the 90s, when a lot of our people were really on some really bad stuff. They don't understand. We saw people on this stuff. We grew up hating this stuff. So a lot of our people did not go back to it. That's why the pharmaceutical companies had to trick people into going back to crack, heroin, and cocaine. They missed their money. These people are the ones getting paid overall. They're getting paid from the justice system by throwing people in jail. They're getting paid by flooding our communities with it, and a lot of that money is ticking back to them. Okay? So they want their dollar first and foremost. But the thing is, now, when they tried it, it's hitting suburbia. It's the judges that are on it. It's the lawyers that are on it. It's they put see, first of all, you can't keep telling people something's mentally wrong with them.
Check the internal chat when you finish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they this time they did not think that they thought this was going to attack our people, and it's not attacking our people. I mean, everybody, some people gonna get hurt. There's casualties in every war, but it's not attacking us. They're taking the full fall for this one. No holdbacks. You know, there's this one show. Yeah, have y'all ever watched Intervention? Everybody gonna be right back. What's good? What's up with that? Fatso gonna be right back. Well, Truth Hurts, can you come on the panel? He sent you the email, and if he didn't, I'll send it to you. Hold up. Let me copy and paste it. Hold on. Did you get the email? Do you have enough time to write in the chat if you got the email or not? Oh, wait, if I send it to you, never mind. No. Clem is going to have to do it. Because I don't trust my email. I don't know. Sometimes it gives out my real name. Sometimes it don't. I don't know. I don't like that. But anyway, so this is really the fall. I don't want to seem like I'm bashing on anybody, but it is what it is, you know? Oh, you got it? Then why ain't you joined? You shy? Let me find out you shy.
Peace. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up, y'all? What's going on?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't. Hello?
Yeah. You're still here.
I can't hear claims though.
Oh, he's not here at the moment.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not a white guy.
Okay. Okay, so were you feeling anything that was spoke about on the panel?
Yeah, I mean, basically, what y'all was saying, I'm just trying to check it out. I like to listen to a lot of people, man. You know, get their perspective on things.
Okay.
So I'm always learning, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. It's all. I think we all continue to learn until the end. Hold on, real quick. Okay, so what do you? Okay, are you from the East Coast? Are you from America?
Yeah, I'm from the Midwest.
Oh, okay. All right. So is the opiate addiction hurting the white people out there too?
Oh, of course, running rampant. You know what I'm saying? It's. I mean, I think there's always been something that they, they was addicted to, but it's just basically more seen right now. You know, just like with anything in social media. You know what I'm saying? We get the information faster now. So yeah, it's crazy right now too.
It's harder to hide with the internet craze. That's very true. Everything's on blast. There's nothing that you can hide. And I think what's coming out is that Black people are not on drugs as bad as they made it out to be.
Of course.
Their cup runneth over of the drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's how it is though. They brought it in, you know what I'm saying? They brought it into our communities and now it's basically backfiring on them. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, now they want to make it a mental issue.
Right. Claims, what's up, man? Salute to you, bro.
Salute.
They on that ish.
For
real.
Yeah, they changed it to now they want to pump all the money into drug prevention. I mean, like drug therapy and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But when it was just our problem, they want to lock you up for 31 years for an empty baggie in your pocket with cocaine residue.
Yep, that's facts. I mean, Where I'm at, man, I hear them commercials all day. You know what I'm saying? If you got this addiction, contact this number. You know what I'm saying? We'll help you out. You know,
And
they just started doing this shit.
They got the sad music playing.
Yeah, everything.
When it was us, it was it was not like that at all. Like,
yeah, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because the people that are right up next, rubbing elbows to the powerful people, right, who can make things happen for the nation, they said, "Oh, my people shouldn't be on drugs. Lock them away, throw them away, and throw them under the jail and throw away the key." We got all these Uncle Ruckuses up there rubbing elbows with the powerful people instead of Israelites. So in our history, in the Israelite history, in our records, the Israelites constantly worked with the government and even converted governments before. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't happen today. You got people banging against the government.
Right.
It's wild. And those governments were just as wicked as this one today.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just like, you know, when I was hitting you up the last time, that live stream, you know, I had a lot of questions about, you know, basically how did they take over this land? How did they take, you know, over black people? You know what I'm saying? And you kind of broke it down. So that's kind of what, like I said, that is funny because that kind of inspired me to do that video. And that is like one of the first videos I done. So salute to you. That's why I say, man, I support you, bro. It's just, I'm just trying to learn, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to gather information from people, man, because that's how you learn is you talk to different individuals, people that believe in different doctrines, you know what I'm saying? And you can try to piece together your truth. I mean, we all on one journey, you know what I'm saying? But I you know what I'm saying? When I was born, dog, I was told to be a Christian, you know what I'm saying? Based on where I was born at, you know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things, man. It's like I had to,
that area.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you born in, you know, in Iran or wherever, you know, where most of the population is Muslim, you know, majority of the times you're gonna be a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna believe in Islam. So it's just it's certain things that I feel like that are just given to us, you know what I'm saying, and we just have to do the research to find out the actual truth. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I started my channel.
Let me give you a little bit of history of how I view world religions. Okay. So I believe the Bible is 100% true. All right. So I get my perspective is coming from that, from the Bible. So now I believe everybody was populated through Noah and his sons. Okay, so his sons populated everybody on Earth. So at one time there was whenever the first civilization got together, it was called Akkad. It was called later called Babylon. So in Akkad, which means one in Hebrew, right? Unified in Hebrew, right? The language was called Akkad too. So in that country, with those people, they all learned the same thing from Noah's sons. They all were there and teaching their people what Noah had taught them. So Noah had preached for 100 years before the flood even came. So of course he had the knowledge to pass on to his children. One of Noah's ancestors was Enoch, who walked with God and was translated to some space that people don't know where it is, right? So he was translated into the air to be with God forever and probably never died, right? So that information from Noah's ancestor was transmitted to Noah, and Noah transmitted it to his sons, and Noah's sons transmitted it to that civilization, which is called Babylon back then, right? So as the language broke up, is why they got the name Babylon. As the languages broke up and people migrated everywhere, that information was transmitted differently and culturalized to the varying locations where they were. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my view on world religions. This is why I study every religion and use the Bible as my compass in order to extrapolate which one of these religions can do. They are somewhat acceptable so that we can bring them back into the fold. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Because there's a passage in the Bible that says peace surpasses all understanding, and our understanding of understanding is that those who do and do God's will has a good understanding. So if peace surpasses our obedience, then if people are willing to be at peace with us, even though they are, doing whatever they do and deal with their religions, the atheism is also a religion. Satanism is a religion. Evolution is a religion. So if they are willing to be at peace with us as we build these communities that we're about to build, then they are acceptable to us.
Mm.
They just can't live among us because they have to keep our law, and they don't want to.
Mm. Okay. Well, let me ask you this though, bro. So, do you believe that anything that is translated, do you believe there's misinformation from that translation? Because you bring up Hebrew, and as far as when that original doctrine was done in Hebrew, or I'm not sure the correct term for it, but then it was translated, what I'm saying, from the Council of Nicaea, and then they picked certain books, to fit into the King James version. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you believe any of that information? Was it missing any pieces? You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so I agree with your premise, right? So
Mhm.
now in your explanation, you conflated thousands of years. So your premise is that a translation, you lose information in the translation.
Right.
That's absolutely true because the first word became a living soul, and it had all knowledge. So the first word spoken, according to the Bible, had all knowledge. And so every time it was transmitted to dumb humans, right?
Right.
You lose. They kept losing information as it was transmitted, and kept losing and losing information over and over and over again till now we're here trying to
Okay.
figure it out. But there, all knowledge resides with the first speaker. So we're going to be taught directly by that first speaker in the future, way in the future. So it's not a big deal to us. All we need to do is understand that we need to be obedient to that superpower, the most powerful thing in existence, or lest you just be destroyed. So I mean, there ain't no way around it. It's irrational if I come to you, right,
Hmm.
and I have uh AR, right, and I come to you and you are home with your family. You got four daughters and three sons, and your grandmother lives with you, right? And I come and I kick your door in, and I got an AR, and you don't have any weapons in the house. Okay, it's irrational to go against my will. Okay,
Hmm.
so I'm not saying he's putting a gun to our head, but he's putting a gun to our head.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have a choice, but at the same time, it's not malicious. He's not kicking our door into and putting the AR against our head in order to harm us or to steal our goods.
Right.
He's uh, showing great patience with us and chastising us over and over again over thousands upon thousands of years in order for us to be welcomed in their society, because their society doesn't have disorder and chaos like we see on earth.
Right. Well, and I appreciate you for breaking that down. And that's the reason why I asked you that, because if we understand that, through translation, misinformation was left out. And then we understand that these people came across to our people and gave us their version of that broken down system that they came up with. They put their book together with some real information in it. You know what I'm saying? They gave it to us, used it as a weapon. So if the information was left out and we're now worshiping the Bible in its exact word, are we not worshiping the wrong thing because some things were left out that were very important to our people? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
Are
Bible
we
itself.
not worshiping? Is that basically worshiping and putting that energy towards something that's not that's not for us. Like basically, you know what I'm saying? It's not for us. They switched the agenda, you know what I'm saying? And now we're basically worshiping something that they set in stone. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. So the Bible itself says that you look for salvation in the scriptures. So this is what a lot of people do. So they worship the Bible. So that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to worship the Most High. So now the only record that the only um, mostly accurate and fully accurate record of the Bible that we have today is the Bible out of all the world religions. So now you can extrapolate some things from other religions and put it to it, but you got to understand the basics first. You got to understand the milk first, and then you have to be able to accept strong meat, and then you can go in other world religions and bring it together with the Bible. But
Okay.
it's a very technical thing to do. So now the just the 66 books alone are very difficult to comprehend. So you're gonna need a teacher for that.
Right.
And then you got the other 14 books that are make up the Apocrypha. So that's 80 books total. And so it takes quite a bit of time to even comprehend that basic little bit of information. So now you need a teacher for that. So we have thousands of books. So it'll take forever to do those things. But people do worship the Bible, and they're not supposed to do that.
Oh, okay. That's good information. I didn't know that, bro. Fatso said he ain't want to talk about religion.
Yeah, we were talking about science, and you niggas fell asleep. So
right. Yeah, I mean, but to get to science, man, I mean, I just did a video today that I gotta put out just basically about like how technology is basically, you know what I'm saying? I'm asking the question, is technology the new modern day slavery? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I love science, man. I'm all into it. But the way they got things set up, you know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at it from that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Are they making these technologies, the advancement of technology, are they actually using it against the masses? Is that another form of so-called slavery? You know what I'm saying? What you think about that?
Of course. Now, I'm gonna backpedal just for a second because you said that they use the Bible as a weapon. So
right.
if the Bible is a weapon that was effectively used against us, then we should be able to use that same weapon against them. It's just like any other weapon. They used the gun against us and conquered us out of Africa, right?
Right.
We had nothing but spears, but we had so many numbers that some of those tribes couldn't be conquered, and they would just continue to get whooped every time they came in there. So they've broken a deal with those people with large numbers and said that, okay, well, you hunt these particular people down because we're just looking for the jewel of the Nile. We're actually looking for Israelites, and that's all we want. So you guys are in the way. So we tried to kill all you guys, and we couldn't kill you. So you go hunt them, and we'll pay you heavily. All right. So now, just like they used the gun, just like they used the Bible against us, we can use the Bible against them with no problem. And the pen is mightier than a sword. So the systems of the day are set up so thoroughly for our sake to where we can get things done with a stroke of a pen instead of conquering them like they conquered us.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. That's very interesting. And I never heard about this, this dude that you had on there today when we was listening to that video. That's interesting as well.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff that I secretly watch because nobody really cares. So
right. Exactly.
I just watch it for myself for the right time, the right season. And I got so much motivation now because a guy in one of my Facebook groups came up with this this budget that he's been thinking about for 13 years, and somehow now he put it together in a very thorough presentation. Did you see those presentations yet?
You talking to me, dog?
Yeah.
No, I ain't seen him yet.
Okay, so yeah, I thoroughly suggest you or watch those presentations. It's having one tomorrow,
Okay.
12 Eastern. You on the East Coast?
I'm in the Midwest, Central Time.
Okay. So I think that's 10 your time
Okay.
tomorrow. And so you got to sign up for it, and I'll put the link in the description. So
Okay. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, like I said, man, I'm always researching, looking at documentaries, man, and you know what I'm saying, reading, trying to find information, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I learned, man, is that no one person knows it all. You know what I'm saying? We all gotta experience this journey. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to navigate it the best way I can. You know what I'm saying? For me, my family, you know what I'm saying, and trying to gain some knowledge, man.
So I agree with people who generally don't agree with the book. Whenever they use this phrase, they say we're all on different paths, trying to make it to the same destination. So I do agree with that. So now the destination is what's important. So if you can get there, but now if your GPS is taking you down a dead end street, then you're gonna keep, bumping into dead end streets and going the wrong way, and it might take you. What if your GPS takes you around the loop around the world 12 times just to get across the street? So this is what does not impress me about travelers and Masons, Freemasons. They say, I have been to these places. I have gone here. I have gone there. And so what? The destination is a kingdom that we humans build on the earth that will rival any superpower on the earth. That's the destination. So you don't have to travel the world to do that.
Right. Well, I mean, I know one of the things that you talked about was the Moors, man. So I'm like, what did the Moors do that was so called bad?
Okay, according to our record, there was a treaty of peace and friendship between the Israelites and the Moors back in like 1100, 1200 BC.
Mm-hmm.
And so we weren't allowed to fight them, and they weren't allowed to fight us, and we were supposed to grow a camaraderie together, and be be allies forever. And so they broke that treaty of peace and friendship when they made another contract, a treaty of peace and friendship with who the Bible calls the Canaanites. When they made that 17, I forget the year, but the treaty of peace and friendship with the United States, when they gave them the right to travel the seas and to capture us, and then they themselves captured us out of the continent because they knew how to navigate the continent. So the white people brokered a deal with the Moors to hunt us down and trade with the Arab slave, the sub-Saharan slave trade, which was controlled by the Ottoman Empire. So they brokered a deal with them guys to capture us anywhere we were on the continent and around the world. And this was permission from the Pope. I forget which Pope it was, but it's in a papal bull called Dum Diversas, Diversas, the Dum Diversas. So you can see the Pope's name in there and everything. And he gave permission to Alfonso V of Portugal to hunt Saracens anywhere they are on the earth, seize their property, and strip their all their property and anything that they have, and subject them to perpetual servitude. So Alfonso I started that whole transatlantic slave trade and took over the sub-Saharan slave trade. So they broke a deal with the Moors. The Moors were the go-to people whenever they kept trying to come in to conquer Africa. They couldn't do it, so they broke a deal with the Moors, and and that's why they broke out the treaty between the Israelites and the Moors.
Okay.
Moabites.
Oh, okay. That would make sense then. That's some good information. Yeah, so like I'm saying, I'm steady researching on them too. You know what I'm saying? Uh I know you probably seen it, but you know the Hidden Colors documentaries. You seen
Yeah.
those? Okay, yeah.
All four of them.
Yeah, I mean, because they promote them heavy. You know what I'm saying? They trying to say that we are Moors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just trying to find out the labels, man, of everything.
And
but yeah,
be sure to watch the Whited Out series too. They have it's four of those as well, and the Hidden Colors series was purposely timed to be released during the release of the Whited Out series in order to cover up that information. So
okay,
purposely timed it to cover up the Israelite information.
okay. I'm gonna have to check that out. The Whited Out series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
On YouTube for free.
All right. Cool. Well, nah, man. I mean, you basically answered all my questions, bro. Like I said, man, I appreciate the information that you give. Like I said, I always do some research on it too. So I'm gonna research all this stuff that we talked about and some of the stuff you talked about earlier. And yeah, I'm gonna see what's up with it, man.
All right. Well, what do you do?
What do you mean?
What's your background?
What do you mean?
Like, what kind of knowledge are you? I know you're interested in the truth, but
Right.
who are you? Basically, I'm asking.
I mean, my background, like I said, I used to be a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Then woke up from that and just basically just been on a spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? Trying to find the truth.
Oh, okay. So have
Yeah.
you started reading your Bible?
Yeah, I mean, I used to read the Bible all the time when I was into Christianity. You know what I'm saying?
No, but you got to read it while you're getting your new set of eyes and your new set of ears. Like when you're
Yeah.
starting to hear and see differently.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I heard about too. You know what I'm saying? When you read the Bible with a different consciousness, you start to realize certain things, just like with any other book or movie, you know what I'm saying, that you may see with a different set of consciousness. You can receive different information. So I haven't went back to the Bible, but you know what I'm saying, I haven't went back to the Bible as of right now.
Well, you should. The Most High's waiting for you there. You definitely should get to know him and see what your family went through, your bloodline went through, to see why we are in the state that we're in now, and the good parts as far as how we're going to come out of it, the stuff that's going to happen to the people that had a big important role to play in it. I personally like reading the Bible because I've never known my history. I've never, like with my family, I don't have a family that's like, to where I know who my great grandmother is or who my none of us do. We came from captivity, right?
Right.
So to actually get to read about your family from the beginning, from day one, like everything, all the way back to Jacob, like how everything began, how this whole planet was made for us. So I just think you should, try to read it again, but this time read it from a perspective of this book is for us, was written about us, and that's your history book right there.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna do that. Like I said, I'm definitely getting around to doing a lot of research on a lot of things. So yeah, I'll check it out again.
But that's the main, like, the Apocrypha. Have you heard of the Apocrypha or started getting it?
I have heard of that.
That's the missing books of the Bible?
Oh, you talking about, like, I guess they call them the Dead Sea Scrolls and shit?
Like Maccabees, Ezra's, stuff like that?
14 books that was taken out of the King James version of
right.
Protestants because they think because it gives us too much information. First of all, it gives us the Greek captivity, which is left out of the canon. Plus, they got that numerology thing going on where they wanted to have 66 books in the canon.
Yeah, I just seen this. I seen this video too, man, from this guy that broke down like numerology with the Bible and how they changed that up as well. So that was some cool information too.
What do you mean numerology with the Bible?
Well, he's an Israelite. He was debating this guy named Young Pharaoh on his channel. and he was just breaking it down as far as how, they changed it from like the Gregorian calendar from 365 days in a year, and when really it's 360 days in a year. And he breaks down how, what I'm saying, the Most High puts the numerology in the book of the Bible. And basically we supposed to live accordance to the Bible with the numerology as far as, the years, the days of the years and everything. It was deep. I mean,
well, they've actually changed how many days are in a year more than once.
Right, they have, yeah. But that's what he
Yeah,
was
they
saying.
did.
He was saying that basically the Bible was written to be at 360 days.
Like right now, from some of the stuff that I've heard, I haven't really done the research on it yet, but I've heard that we're in the year 2021, getting ready next month to be the year 2022.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I haven't got that far as that, but yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of stuff that we just don't know, what I'm saying, because of our history, what I'm saying. So I think that's the major key component. I'm not sure if you guys seen the Black Panther movie, but that's one of the things that I talked about as well too, how they were showing the separation of our ancient ancestors and how we did things until, the modern day of where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the information was lost, and we basically don't know that our true history. And that's basically where we at right now. So we just misguided. And for you guys who do, you guys know your truths, and what I'm saying, y'all believe in what y'all believe in, and I respect that. It's just a lot of us, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know for sure. And my thing is this: when it comes to religion or anything like that, I look at it like this: how long is this supposed to take place, if that's the case? And you know what I'm saying, if everything that's written in the Bible is true, you know what I'm saying, where are the modern day prophets at? Where are, where are our signs? Because for people to be oppressed, let's just say 400 years that we can actually go back and see, just 400 years that we can go back on the books and actually see that we were actually slaves here in America. Why have we taken an oppressed position in the society for so long with no, with no signs of a change for us? Like, if we're the chosen ones based on the Bible, like, when is that time going to come? Because with the Bible, it seems like they give you these parallels, and they give you these certain dates. Well, not really dates, but they give you these events. Now, these events are something that happens like damn near over the period of time. You always have these catastrophic events. You know what I'm saying? You always will have this type of separation and dysfunction amongst people, and they always give you these signs. If you see these signs, then the end times are here. But I've been hearing that my whole life, man. I grew up in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And I could just know from my father, man, because my father was in my life, you know what I'm saying? And I seen how just from his generation that it wasn't nothing significantly that happened that would make us be like, okay, we about to turn the tide, or you know what I'm saying, about something about to come. So it seems like to me, that's where I get stuck at. I can't really say that the weapon that they gave us, that Bible, is enough for me to understand why we're going through what we're going through today. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the Most High works in beautiful ways, and I really personally don't feel like they gave us this Bible. Everything is done through the Most High's will, and the Bible says in Deuteronomy 28, verse 29, "And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper, only oppressed and spoiled over more, and no man shall save thee." Like, where's the one where it says that no man shall, and no, oh, this is the one I want. "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the ways whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." That means no man shall save you. So you're looking for prophets in the modern day. Jesus is coming back. That's our Savior. No man here is going to be able to save us. That's why I think it's really important that you should read your Bible, because it will answer a lot of the questions that you have. Like, we're only in this mess because we never did follow the covenant we made with the Most High in the desert. What our promise, we never did it. Like, we would do it for a little bit, renege, go back, worship false idols and other gods and do things other than what we're supposed to be doing, which is the same thing a lot of us are doing now. People are now lovers of themselves, worshiping themselves, like calling themselves God and worshiping other people. They have a whole media site called, where they literally are calling you a follower now. And people are like, oh, I got 5,000 followers. I got 2 million followers. Like, that's disgusting. You know what I mean? But the Savior you're looking for is coming. But the Bible clearly says, and no man shall buy you, which means no man shall save you.
Right. Okay. Well, let me ask you this, sister, though, because what you're saying is heavy. But like I said, I call myself God. Now, I don't call it to be disrespectful. I'm if you look at the definition, man, it's somebody who can affect nature and change. I'm someone who can affect nature and change. And if I come from the Most High, am I not a part of the Most High? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you have any children.
Nature.
I'm just saying, I don't know if you have any children. I got children, and I know for sure my kids come from me. They got a part of me in them. You know what I'm saying? If we was created by him, we are gods. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're different from animals. We are gods. Now, we don't know he's the Most High. That's totally different. But as far as gods, we are gods. We are creators, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're creators of ourselves. Like, we can have kids the same way that a cow and a chicken and a duck can. Like, we can,
right.
we can give off to our offspring. That's what we can do. We cannot create a tree, a cloud. We cannot create water. We can't create. A creator can create all things. We can't do that. So we are not a God. A God can do it all. We cannot do the things that the Most High can do. Just because he gave us the right to be fruitful and multiply, now we God? How that work?
Right. I see what you're saying, and I feel you, but I think that's just semantics. You know what I'm saying? As far as with the words,
it's a deep reality.
Well, I hear you, and I respect what you're saying. I just think a little bit differently because, like I said, it's just we are able to create things. We are able to create things with our mentality. You know what I'm saying? Your reality, your perception. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I believe is my truth in my mind, I can create that. If I believe that I'm going to do something.
No, but listen to me. Who created your sperm? Who created the woman's egg?
Right.
Can you create that?
No, of course not.
Then how? Do you get where I'm going with that? How you to create, like, the Most High gave us that ability so we could be fruitful and multiply. He created that for us, how it works and everything else,
right?
For us to even have children. So because he gave us the machinery, the body mechanics to make this happen, does not mean we can overthrow him at any moment, because that's what it sounds like to me. When you start calling yourself a God and saying, "Oh, I can create," that's like a doctor saying that he's God and he saves lives. None of this works without the Most High giving it the go ahead. It don't work.
Right? No, I got what you're saying, but you got to look at it from this standpoint. We can't. This is the thing, man. We can't understand how God thinks. A lot of people like to, I would say, think or say how God will react or how God does this or God. We don't know. And if a being is so powerful, so almighty, you see what I'm saying? You can't imagine or fathom how the real Most High thinks. Can we agree on that?
Read your Bible. The Most High tells you a lot about himself as well.
So but if we read the Bible, he contradicts himself a lot.
But some of it, the Most High is letting you get. The Most High is wanting you to get to know him. The Most High tells us over and over how much he loves us. So it's like, through reading your Bible, like I said, a lot of your answers will be answered. And it's okay to know the Father. It's okay to know him. You can't speak for him, but it's okay to know him. But if he says something in there and says something in the Bible that speaks to you, say it out loud.
Okay. I respect what you're saying. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm not scared of information.
Like, start from Genesis and keep going. Like, and just at least read the Torah. You know what I'm saying? Just start from there and see where it leads you. See if the Most High starts working with you. Like, really trust, because it sounds to me like you've been awoken to the knowledge. You're hungry for it. You're even looking for it. So that means you're being woken up, at least to me. So I would say turn to the Bible as well and see where that goes. See where it leads you. It can't hurt you.
Of course. And like I said, I'm not scared of information. I'm not scared to learn. You
And
know
that's
what
the
I'm saying?
best information.
Well, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Claim, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all information, man. I appreciate y'all letting me come on the platform too, man. You know what I'm saying? So respect and salute to you guys.
Yeah, it's a lot. Anytime you want to come on, you just drop us a line, right? And then we'll just shoot you the link.
Okay. And like I said, Claims, I definitely want to have you on my platform, man. Like I said, man, you definitely are a brother full of wisdom, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Not just from being an Israelite, but just as far as your information about science and looking at different things, I salute that, bro.
Salute.
So I appreciate y'all, but I'm a dip and truthfully, thank you for the information. I'm definitely gonna check it out. Like I said, man, I'm not scared of information. I'm not scared to be corrected. If you look at my page, I'm here to learn. You know what I'm saying?
I speak.
You know what I'm
I don't know why, but I'm working on how I speak.
Oh no, I think you good. That's
I know
that's
sometimes
love.
I can sound aggressive, but I promise you I'm not like that. It's just I don't know. My bad.
Yeah,
No, I mean that's love. I mean you stand on your convictions, and I can appreciate that. I'm just not one of those people at this point in my time and point in my life that I can just truly speak on that I know the truth. I'm just speaking about me personally. I can't stand on and say, hey, I know my way is the right way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those people, man, at this point in my time. Now, if I do more research and read different things and come to that conclusion, then maybe I can stand on it. And you guys have probably went all the way down that path, and that's why you guys are where you at. You know what I'm saying? I'm like you said, I'm hungry for the information. I'm looking. That's why I created my channel to actually meet different people like you guys, get people's feedback, and just trying to find my truth. So I can appreciate that.
Okay, man. You watched another classic on Claim Your Inheritance channel. We got the special guest, the Truth Hurts podcast. We got the Extremely My Woman special guest, Truthfully Honest. And we got Claim Your Inheritance. We was waiting on some contestant to come on here and do the live IQ challenge, and they all bitched up, bitched out. So Richard was the last one who challenged me, and in Thailand, I guess it's Saturday, so he's probably having a great time or something. Or maybe it's Sunday. I don't know what day it is over there, but it was 4 a.m. when he challenged me, and it was 4 p.m. here. So I don't know what happened. He didn't show up. Liam Rinaldi said he can show up Tuesday or Wednesday so he can practice on the IQ test. And George Zimmerman, okay, I'm the only person. You heard it here first. George Zimmerman is online under the name Saint Travon of Skittles. So he brags about killing Trayvon Martin, and the only person who killed Trayvon Martin was George Zimmerman. So he's online. He's the first person to challenge me to a brain contest, and as you can see, he never showed up. So during that time, I asked Truthfully Honest to if we could prove each other, which is an Israelite custom, to be sure that we are compatible for a marriage, a lifelong dedication. And she said, "What'd you say?"
Yeah.
She said yes. So you heard it here first. And then during that time, we decided to listen to some science, and we also decided to listen to some Goldie Otis, some old timey stuff, in order to put myself in a mind frame of when my people were more oppressed than we are today. And so they weren't allowed to read back in those times. And so, of course, people could say that we weren't intelligent because we didn't have access to the information. But we are in the information age. The information has been proliferated, and so we have access to it now, and we are becoming more and more intelligent as a community daily. All right. So that's what we've been up to on this hangout, and I appreciate everybody for showing up. Any last word?
Yes, when you end this stream, don't hang up completely. Just end the stream. I got something I want to show you.
All right. What about you, Will?
I appreciate y'all having me on, man. And also salute to y'all, man. Appreciate it. And thanks for the information.
All right, everybody out there. Shalom.
Peace.